Man, what's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for coming in this morning right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? You got a monster weekend of recruiting here to talk about that, to highlight the 5 stars that are coming in. And let me know where you're watching from inside the comment box. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. We're going to talk weekend visitors. We are going to talk a commitment preview. We are going to talk additional headlines within the Alabama ecosystem, and we're going to talk at the end of the show the toughest game outside of Georgia. All right, so everybody get checked in, and as I usually do, okay, I want to see those calories. How many have you burned? You get moving this morning. I've got a 4-mile run in West Tuscaloosa. It was beautiful along the river walk. We ran out to Stillman College. You know where Stillman College is? That's where we ran this morning. I'm at 6:05 right now. I appreciate you, Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you very much for being a subscriber of Bama Football on YouTube. Look, there's a lot to go over. So before we talk about the weekend visitors, let's kind of go over some headlines, all right? Because the headlines right now, they're hot. Alabama football, they're everywhere in terms of recruiting. What's going on yesterday? I hung out with some buddies. We went to Innisfree, right? We call it, it's our second F. I'm part of F3, Fitness, Fellowship, and Faith. And yesterday was the second F, which was Fellowship. So we got together, went to Innisfree. Have you had Innisfree's food, by the way? Let me know. I really like it. I had the shepherd's pie. So, yeah, it was heavy. I was feeling it this morning. All right, but before I got there, Keelan Russell wins the Elite 11 MVP award. All right, so I'm sure you saw the video yesterday, and I'm sure you read your articles. What does this mean? What is the Elite 11? So the Elite 11 is for top quarterbacks across the country that are going into their senior year. And they'll have a couple ball boys who are going into 2026, 2027. I'm sure Trent Seaborn, maybe he was there. Maybe he'll get a call. What's going on, Corey? I appreciate you. Yeah, and things are starting to absolutely roll this cold summer. It's cold. I should have a parka on, right? But so Keelan Russell comes away with the award. He beat out some very talented quarterbacks that are out there. I mean, everybody's been talking about some of these other quarterbacks, but it's Keelan Russell, the former 4-star, the former SMU commit that walks away with the award. And I don't want anybody to get it twisted in terms of people thinking that he won it just because he was committed to Alabama. The great thing about it was he entered as a 4-star. He'll leave being a 5-star on his own merit. Like, he literally earned the award in front of the guys. And as I said yesterday, I used to work for the Elite 11. Andy Bark, who runs the entire operation, and then Brian Stump, who's the director. I've worked out there, and I love to see it. And I understand the mentorship and the coaching that they give to those players. And they value a lot of things other than just mechanics of the player, you know, ball placement, mechanics, but they also like to see the mentality of the individual from a leadership standpoint. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting is that, and it was a 24/7 video. Keelan Russell, he wins the award, and 24/7 CBS Sports is interviewing him, and he starts to call out his targets. They're like, who you want on board? And look, things are really, really starting to heat up. We're going to talk about weekend recruiting. If you guys could just take a pause and hit the thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. So he starts to call out his targets, right? Decoria Moore, 5-star. Ty Haywood, 5-star offensive lineman. Khalil Lockett, 5-star wide receiver. Like, he is head-hunting 5-stars. And ever since he has jumped on board, which is now, 2 weeks, you've seen Alabama gain even more momentum recruiting. They had momentum, but now since Keelan Russell's on board, like, think about this. He'd probably be the number 1 quarterback in the class, right? I mean, he just proved himself out there. So you have, this is kind of the new wave. And look, the brand, that's not going anywhere. The quarterback legacy, it's not going anywhere. And I get it. You guys made a good point. I was reading the comments yesterday in my video when I was talking about Keelan Russell. And you're right. Julian Sain did win the award last year, and he was committed to Alabama. You know, late this season, he transfers to Ohio State. But at that point in time, he was committed to Alabama. And then rewind to 2016, that's when Tua Tagovailoa. So theoretically, you could say that, 3 guys who were committed to Alabama did win the award for the Elite 11. I can't wait to see this kid play this coming season, talking about Keelan Russell, how he continues to recruit for this class of 2025. And he wants those big-time 5-stars to come on board. I already like the offensive line setup with Mal Waldrop, Michael Carroll, and Jackson Lloyd coming in. But Ty Haywood, that would be monumental in terms of adding a 4th offensive lineman. I don't know if it's going to happen, but, man, he was calling him out yesterday. You saw it. Here's a preview of the weekend visitors that are coming into town. Please note that the first 2 up top, Khalil Lockett and Caleb Edwards, those guys were already in town from Monday to Wednesday. I kind of just wanted to put those guys in there because they are part of this week's group of visitors. So Khalil Lockett and Caleb Edwards. And I'm going to talk about these players in detail. We are on commitment watch today for, I don't know if it'd be today or for tomorrow, but I think at any point in time, you're going to have a commitment for Dawson Merritt. So kind of when you dive into Dawson Merritt and who Dawson Merritt is as a player, you see that he's out of the class of 2025. He is 6'3", 215 pounds. He's out of Kansas. And I once again, you're going to all these parameters and all these states recruiting different players. Like, don't think of it as a country. Like, if Coach Kalen DeBoer wants you, he is going to go get you, whether it's in Pennsylvania, whether it's in New Jersey, whether it's in Los Angeles, whether it's in Las Vegas, Nevada, or whether it's in Kansas. So I know a lot of Nebraska fans right now because it seemed like it was coming down to Nebraska and Alabama, but he has been predicted to commit to Alabama. This is On3's interface. Let's take a look at his highlights because I really like his highlights and kind of what he brings to the table. Let me see if I could bring up his highlights here for a second. Man, this guy, I didn't really I checked out his highlights once, and we were watching Dawson Merritt, who's on commitment watch for the Alabama Crimson Tide, probably closer to 6'4". Really good athleticism. I like the way that he fights off blocks, gets to the quarterback right here. Honestly, a lot of these guys, I get it. You know, these guys are the best of the best, but it's still amazing to see, right? He still gets to the quarterback. Really great first step off the line, be able to get the quarterback. Look how far he is right here. Watch this play. And you talk about kind of the athleticism that players are going for Alabama. Look, he makes up ground, he comes in, really good, strips the ball, right? So I think in terms of the guys that they are recruiting, and I don't know if this guy is as athletic as Noah Carter, but you're seeing some similar type players. Like, these are the type of guys that they're going after. I love Noah Carter specifically. I think I'd like that guy to play on the offensive side of the ball. But Dawson Merritt is a guy that I think you can develop into another speed type edge rusher. Look at that. My goodness. Right? Closer to 6'4", probably beef him up to like 240 pounds, keeping the speed. So Dawson Merritt at some point in time will announce, and I think that it is certainly going to be to Alabama. Man, that was crushing. All right. Okay. So let's talk weekend visitors. All right. Coach Mo Lindquist. And if you guys could hit the thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And, type Y inside the comment box. Why go over this? If you think that, Dawson Merritt will be next to commit to Alabama. So type Y inside the comment box right now if you think that Dawson Merritt will commit to Alabama football. I appreciate you guys. Aaron, what's going on? Your Daily Escape, good morning. Roll Tide to you. Jarvis, what's going on? Marcus, I appreciate you. Caitlin, what's going on? I appreciate you as well. And everybody else inside the chat this morning. Jimmy Lee Baker, I see you as well. All right. Okay, let's talk about weekend visitors. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. Take a minute to hit the thumbs up and think about becoming a fan funder. A fan funder helps me become, continue to do this as a content creator. So there's a hyperlink up top, $2.99. I appreciate you guys. Super chats as well. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so Khalil Lockett and Caleb Edwards, those guys are already on board. And I think the thing to take away with that, they're each 5 stars. Khalil Lockett out of Texas, Caleb Edwards out of Mississippi, and each of those guys are 5 stars. And who is recruiting the wide receivers? Well, none other than Jamarcus Shepard. And we saw the intensity and the enthusiasm from Jamarcus Shepard and how he can lay it on. Because I think when you're a parent or when you're a coach and you're sending your player off to a different high school, who is he going to be coached up by? Is he going to reach his maximum potential? So absolutely. I mean, you saw how he was able to recruit the prospects, Travis Smith. Like, he went after him with his heart and soul, and I love that about him. Dejon Lee, he's a defensive back. Coming in from California. And we talked about this plenty of times if you listen to my shows, that you have already 4 prospects committed from the state of California. From what I have seen, it looks like Dejon Lee has been forecasted to Alabama. I don't think like Steve Whitfong or like an Andrew Bone has put in that prediction. So I don't know how serious that is at that point in time. But I think you do have California as a pipeline. You do have Mo Lindquist recruiting. And look, the energy that Jamarcus Shepard has on the offensive side of the ball, Mo Lindquist has it on the defensive side of the ball, 1,000,000%, okay? So Dejon Lee coming in, he is announcing his commitment on June 28th, I believe. So Alabama's going to lay out the full court press on him, the red carpet treatment, whatever you want to call it. And I think Alabama has a really good shot to land Dejon Lee, which would be the first 5-star. Well, theoretically, I think Keelan Russell's probably the first 5-star. He just hasn't been called a 5-star yet. But I think that, Dejon Lee would probably be a really good shot to be Alabama's first 5-star. Caleb Cunningham as well is coming in. He's another 5-star prospect. Another wide receiver that'll get the same treatment that Travis Smith got and get to. So that's why I'm talking about like Jamarcus Shepard a lot, because not that he has any pressure, but he has the opportunity rather to be able to recruit these big time wide receivers that are coming in. Derek Meadows is another guy that is coming in out of Bishop Gorman out of Las Vegas. So put the full court press out. Jamarcus Shepard has it. He's going to bring these wide receivers, which he calls takers. And then another huge name that's coming in is just look at all these 5-stars, right? Like, you've been asking about the 5-stars. The 5-stars are coming. I promise you. Okay. And they're already in town. Justice Terry just put out a tweet yesterday with his feet posted up saying that he is in Tuscaloosa already. Okay. So Justice Terry coming in, and on the defensive side of the ball, you have Freddie Roach, working with this guy, right? You have Freddie Roach showing him what it takes to play at the standard of Alabama football. We watched his tape yesterday. Justice Terry, I think he could play sooner than later, all right? And you do have London Simmons, who has already committed to Alabama as well. And you're right, Griffin. I think, you get Mo Lindquist, you get Courtney Morgan, all of those guys start working these top tier players. And I think the defensive side of the ball too. And you'll probably get a couple. I mean, let me ask you this, Undefeated. How many commitments do you think there'll be this weekend? Like, starting today to Sunday, how many commitments do you think there'll be? I think there'll probably be, let's say 2. All right. Cause last week you had, what do you have? 2? I think you have 2 as well. Dawson Merritt, one of them, somebody else. 2. That's what I'm saying, Jarvis. I'm thinking 2 as well. Ty Jackson also in, very important player out of the state of Florida. Derek Meadows, as I said, he's working with, Jamarcus Shepard. Micah DeBose would be a fantastic addition as an offensive lineman. And then these guys are, already committed to Alabama on the bottom 3. Steven, I appreciate you being a member of Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much for being level 1 fan funder. That's $2.99 a month to support the product right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much. We appreciate you very much. 3 prospects on the bottom of your screen: Abdul Sanders, Luke Metz, and Antonio Coleman. Those guys are each committed to Alabama. They'll be back in town. Abdul Sanders was just in Tennessee for a visit. And look, the Vols want him, but I think he is solid with Alabama. He is a prospect out of Los Angeles. You have Luke Metz, who is a prospect out of Georgia that is on board already and was just at Georgia. And then after his visit to Georgia, even posting a picture with Kirby Smart, he said that he is still fully engaged with Alabama football. Antonio Coleman, as you know, that name's familiar because he flipped from Auburn to Alabama. He'll be on board as well. And if you're just joining us, we are on a commitment watch for Dawson Merritt. Dawson Merritt is a 6'3", 215-pound linebacker out of Kansas. And I asked you earlier within the show if you guys could type Y if you feel that Dawson Merritt will be the next to commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Just let me know inside the comment box. And I think you're right, Jarvis. That was dope by Luke Metz to be able to go to Georgia. listen to their pitch, but at the end of the day, like, you want to play with a program that has this type of momentum, this type of mentality that these new coaches have coming in. So I think Dawson Merritt will be the next to commit to Alabama, and really excited about that. Okay. Other headlines around Alabama Crimson Tide football. If you're just joining us, good morning. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. If you could hit the thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. And thank you so much for being here. 112 watching right now. If you could get 112 thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. As you saw, Keelan Russell won the Elite 11 MVP. We covered that. But what was most important was after the fact that he won the award and he's on a national stage and he has the microphone in his mouth, he's calling out Decoria Moore. He's calling out Ty Haywood. He is calling out Khalik Lockett. He even called out, do you see this? Did you see this? He called out Jamie French. It was like, Jamie French, because he's like, I want targets. So come on board and jump on this train, right? Like, be a part of something bigger than yourself. And Keelan Russell has that mentality clearly. I love that from the quarterback. And the biggest quote a couple days ago, even before he won the award, he said he's thriving for greatness, thriving to get better. That's what you want from your quarterback. Dawson Merritt on commitment watch. In Alabama, let's start at this point right here. Benny, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining us this morning right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Alabama football, absolutely on fire. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Whatever you want, like what position you want to talk, offense, defense, special teams. They got the punter, Alex Ostroff. People said Coach Kalen DeBoer couldn't recruit. I love seeing that inside the comment box. Courtney Morgan has also been saying it's a cold summer. Somebody just tweeted at Courtney Morgan and was like, this is important. Listen to this. I saw this. They were like, Courtney Morgan, and they addressed it to Courtney Morgan, and they were like, you guys aren't recruiting. Nick Saban, people are committing to Alabama because of Nick Saban. How many times have you seen Nick Saban in, recruiting for Alabama since he left? I haven't at all. And Courtney Morgan tweeted back grapes, which I think is sour grapes. People are jealous of Alabama football. They thought that this was the end of Alabama football, and that you're going to get the same thing during the season, I promise you. People are going to say that now he can't coach. Well, he just proved that he can recruit, and he'll prove that he can coach. So I think the headline right now, honestly, of college football is Alabama football recruiting. You saw it, like from the biggest names that cover college football. Josh Pate just had a emoji of Alabama football recruiting. Everybody, like the biggest names, are all talking Alabama football recruiting, and it's only creating more momentum and more momentum. Let's talk about Jamarcus Shepard real quick, all right? Because last week, I think we spent a lot of time talking about Mo Lindquist because of the fact that we saw him smoking a cigar with Chuck McDonald's pops, right? We see what he's been doing. I mean, Mo Lindquist has a big job to do. I mean, he's going to be hosting Dejoun Lee this coming weekend, and I'm sure that he's still working Ivan Taylor out of Florida, right, who's committed to Notre Dame. But Jamarcus Shepard, I mean, that guy brings it from an energy standpoint. And what I love about it is that clip that Travis Smith's mom uploaded, that is going to provide so much positive PR for Alabama football because everyone's talking about this new energy. There's music at practice. No. Like, that is the type of energy. That is the type of man leading your kid. So Jamarcus Shepard, man, he's got that energy. And a lot of people miss Scott Cochran because he was like that hype man. Honestly, I'll say this. I think Jamarcus Shepard has more hype than Scott Cochran. And that's a lot to say, right? Marcus, what's up, man? Been a member for 7 months. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, man. Thoughts on Matt Moscona talking trash about Keelan? You know what? I didn't see that. I didn't see he was talking trash about Keelan Russell. A lot of people are outside of the ecosystem. People are that are jealous of Alabama. They're gonna be like, oh, he was committed to SMU and blah blah blah. No, SMU did a hell of a job understanding their in-state talent. And then Coach Kalen DeBoer, Nick Sheridan, Jamarcus Shepard, they saw a quarterback that was capable. Look, they saw. Think about this, okay? This is really important. What I'm about to say right here. What's up, John? I appreciate you being here. Okay. SMU saw something in Keelan Russell a long time ago. And then Coach Kalen DeBoer and his staff saw something very special in Keelan Russell. Then he goes out to the Elite 11 after all of this, and the Elite 11 staff saw the same thing. That's why they named him the MVP. You just don't go if you're out. They don't care who wins the award. They have no ties to Alabama, I promise you. The company is out of Redondo Beach, California. I used to live there. Their office is in Torrance. But they have no ties to Alabama. They don't care. They want to give the award to the top kid who earns it for his personality, his leadership, and his mechanics. All right. So I'll look into that. I didn't see him talking trash about Keelan Russell. I know there's a broadcaster out there that is talking a lot of smack about Alabama football as well. He's like a radio host that keeps out of Baton Rouge. Have you seen this? He keeps talking trash about Alabama football and Coach Kalen DeBoer. I haven't seen too much about it. I'll dive into it. Maybe we'll get him on and we'll hear him talk about LSU and Alabama football and why he feels that Alabama's going down. Alabama's not going anywhere. And in fact, if you are a non-Alabama football fan, you are so pissed off because of what Alabama continues to do on the recruiting trail. Everyone, what's up, man? Been a member for 5 months. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Okay, I want to ask this question. I was thinking about it. Artie, what's up, man? I love the chain inside the comment box. Joe Kroon, what's going on, man? Thank you so much. That's him? The LSU guy? Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, and Mr. B's right, man. If you guys could run the thumbs up, man. We have 102 watching, but only 38 thumbs up. So take a pause and hit the thumbs up. All right. I wanted to ask you about this, okay? So, and this is where I need your help. All right, this will be the interactive part of the show. What is the toughest game? No, this is outside of Georgia, okay? Outside of Georgia. Jeff, I appreciate you being a fan funder right here on Bama Football on YouTube, okay? So who is the toughest game on Alabama's schedule this year outside of Georgia? Jeff is saying Missouri. Oklahoma could be troublesome, says Jarvis. Who else you guys got? Tennessee. You know, so there's no, and I place this basically in terms of how Alabama's schedule runs through, right? Wisconsin, then they play Tennessee later, a couple weeks, blah, blah. Okay, John is saying Tennessee. Here's what I'm thinking, okay? If I had to type this out, and maybe the guy from LSU, I mean, he'll have his time when Alabama goes to Baton Rouge, right? They're in the back end of the season. How I look at this is the venue, where it's at, and the coach, and probably the rivalry as well. And I think with this particular schedule, you are playing a loaded schedule. You are playing some fantastic head football coaches, right? Luke Fickell up top, Josh Heupel, he's beaten Alabama before. Eli Drinkwitz, the quarterback, the coach nobody talks about. Brian Kelly, look, hate it or love it, whatever they're recruiting, he's a good coach, right? Brett Venables, all right? You're going to Norman, and you have Hugh Freeze, okay, who has played Coach Saban twice, who has played him close many times, right? Beating him, 2 times? The thing I think about Missouri is that they're coming to Bryant-Denny Stadium. Think about this. Coach Kalen DeBoer has not coached on the road in the SEC. He hasn't coached one game in the SEC. So I look to the Tennessee game on the road. Look, Tennessee fans hate Alabama. Alabama fans hate Tennessee. I think that's the biggest rivalry. I really do. I honestly do. I know the Auburn one is always going to be there, but Alabama, I don't know. It just, going to that game in Knoxville, coming here when they come here, it's crazy. I can't explain it. LSU, that game is wild as well. It's going to be ultra challenging, and I think the hardest stadium to play at is probably at LSU on this schedule. Then you compound that with the fact that you're going to Oklahoma to play on the road against Brett Venables. And we've seen what's happened to Clemson ever since Brett Venables left, right? I think Clemson's kind of trended down because he was the defensive mastermind. Then you have Auburn. That's a rivalry game. I feel that the games go more Alabama's way here at Bryant-Denny Stadium, but when the game is in Auburn, I have no idea what happens over there. It's crazy. Every single game is challenging. It seems like every single game comes down to the last second when Alabama goes to Auburn. I don't want us to forget about that first game that I have here. It's not the first game on the schedule, but it's the first game listed, type 1 for Wisconsin. Wisconsin going to be good. They are. Tyler Van Dyke, that coach he's a great coach. The quarterback has thrown for over 7,000 yards at like 7 different schools. It's going to be challenging. All right. I think you're right, man. Like this is a tall task for any type of college program. So I was talking about this yesterday with a buddy. I think that Alabama will be punched in the mouth. I think all teams will be punched in the mouth this season. So go into this season understanding that you're going to get punched in the mouth. And that's okay because everybody else, they're going to take some losses. Will Alabama lose this season? Probably. I mean, this schedule is loaded. If Alabama runs the table through this season, this will be the greatest Alabama football team ever. If there's an undefeated team at the end of the back of the college football season, that could be the best college football team ever. What did we say, Jarvis? Henry, what's up? Thanks for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you. What did we say that you're going to have to play 16 games this season to win the college football championship? Is that right? Like the championship game is way out in like January 22nd or something like that. And I still don't understand why the game is on a Monday, right? The schedule is ultra 17 games. Is that true? Man, that's crazy. 2020 run the table. That 2020 team, I could talk about that team all day long. That team was absolutely loaded. Absolutely loaded. All right. Yeah, so it's either 16 or 17 games. That is crazy. So think about this, kind of on the back end of Alabama's schedule. Let's just say you have Oklahoma, then you have Auburn, and if Alabama's in position to play for the SEC championship game, you play in the SEC championship game, right? 3 weeks in a row. So you could have, Brett Venables, Hugh Freeze, Brian Kelly, Josh Heupel, Eli Drinkwitz. I don't know. What if Georgia's there again? Kirby Smart. What if Lane Kiffin's there? You get what I'm saying? Like the coaches that you're going to have to play against, the SEC, this is going to be the most exciting college football season that you have ever watched. I promise you. I promise you. So recruiting's exciting, and I know you guys are feeling it, but just wait till the actual season gets here. It is going to be fantastic. So for those that are just joining us, we are on a commitment watch for Dawson Merritt, kind of jumping back to recruiting right now. Dawson Merritt is 6'3", 215 pounds, out of Kansas. And at some point, we're expecting him to commit. This is a huge weekend of visitors, okay? Coach Mo Lindquist said that it is going to be legendary. Look at all those 5 stars. Please notate that Khalil Lockett and Caleb Edwards up at the top of your screen have already visited from Monday to Wednesday. There's interviews, whether it's 24/7, On3, Rivals. Go read the articles. Go support those sites. You can read up on those guys. The list is extensive. Please continue to keep track on Bama Football on YouTube for breaking updates as we talk about the weekend visitors or commits as they come up. I got you posted right here at Bama Football on YouTube. How this show works is I'm on in the mornings at 7:30, and then as news happens. So feel free to turn the notifications on if you guys could. If you could become a fan funder, that'd be great. Super chats are appreciated. Thank you so much to our $2 spot this morning, to keeping the lights on here at Bama Football on YouTube. Free to watch, not free to produce. And we went over the headlines already this morning. Keelan Russell wins the Elite 11, calls out his shot, wants to Corian Moore, Ty Haywood, Khalil Lockett, Dawson Merritt on commitment watch, Alabama football recruiting on fire. Jamarcus Shepard has been absolutely crushing it, and we talked about the toughest game outside of Georgia. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I really, whoa. That was a weird camera angle. I'll have to fix that up. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube, and I appreciate you guys. I do all the editing myself, so I'm always like going back and forth through like different layers to make sure that the show looks good for you guys. I'm still new at this as well, even though like the channel is as big as it is. I'm still always trying to get better. I'm like Keelan Russell, thriving to get better every single day. And I only talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide football news as it comes in, right? I got like tunnel vision to that. So I appreciate you guys so much for joining me on this morning segment. And yo, George, if Dejon Lee commits, we partying. All right, we're partying. So thank you so much. Tunnel vision right here on Bama Football on YouTube in terms of what we cover, what we talk about, and I pray that you guys have fantastic. Hey, it's Friday. Hell yeah, it's Friday. Right? So let your hair down a little bit. Enjoy your life. Quick story. So, because I've been like tunnel vision. I'm working so hard, got the kids, and I'm like laser focused in. And I was talking to my dad this morning, and I was like, yeah. And I love the garden. I love to take care of my plants and all that stuff. But I was talking, so I'm growing some tomatoes, and the tomatoes are coming in. And I'm talking to my dad. And I'm like, yeah, I had a dream about my tomatoes. And he's like, Kyle. He's like, you need to go do some more exciting things in your life. He was like, so that's right. Let your hair down and, enjoy this great thing we call life. So I appreciate you guys being here so much. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up and for watching videos that come out right here on our YouTube channel. Benny Snow, you're right. It is a tough schedule. Caitlin, I appreciate you guys. Jarvis, George, Chris, everybody inside the comment box, Mac Tooney as well. Macy, what's going on? Tony, thank you so much for watching from Montgomery. Everyday American, thank you so much. Yes, USA is a great place to be. The greatest, in my opinion. Rick, what's going on? I appreciate you, Maddie P, and everybody for joining our show today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. You have a beautiful, right, 25? Like, I love, it's amazing to grow your own fruits and vegetables, right? And to take care of your plants. Like, I think as you mature, like, it's a sign of consistency and dedication, right? I think, and you see like a lot of like older people have these established gardens. Well, they understand like the time that it takes, right, to be able to care for a plant or I love to do it, honestly. So and there's a really cool plant app that I have for those of you that garden. It is called Picture This. So it's great you can take a picture of your plant and it'll tell you your plant's health, the different nutrients that it needs and stuff. So I love it. Marcus, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for St. Pete. Oh, I wish I was in St. Pete. No, you know what, Jarvis? I've had to work to get the plants. Like, I don't have a natural green thumb. I would love to, and I respect the people that do. Kyle Green Thumb Henderson, I would love to be able to have that title. Not yet. Give me let's continue to track it, because it's gardening and taking care of your plants is a marathon, right? It's a marathon. So, but I appreciate you guys watching so much, whether it's talking gardening or talking 5-star recruiting right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining my morning segment. I hope you have a beautiful Friday. As news happens, I got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and enjoy yourself. Call your mom, call your dad. Enjoy times with the kids. Enjoy life. And I will be back right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Roll damn Tide, and have a beautiful Friday. News as it happens right here on Bama Football.